Alrighty, guys, we got up next Aladdin, 80%, presented by authorblues and Drex. Here we go, guys. Let's get started.
Hey.
Whoa, that's a
Scruncho-vision.
Scruncho-vision. I like it.
Hey.
Yo.
So this is Aladdin by Capcom featuring Disney. Everyone was really excited in chat when they saw the 30-minute estimate because they thought that meant this was going to be the Genesis Aladdin, but real sorry.
It's not.
Our bad.
This one's really good, though.
It's pretty good.
All right, you let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
Oh, wow. What a gentleman. All right. You ready for a countdown? All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
And away they go.
Hey. Up reset. Ran into a barrel.
That's what I would do if this was not the real thing here.
Every time I look at Joe D'Amelio's splits, all I see is Disney's reset.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a death abuse strat later that's going to set up better RNG for the final boss. And the side effect of that is that I really need to have, or will prefer to have, an extra life. It's actually kind of funny, the extra life that's at the very beginning of the game, if you watch most runs, you'll see people skip it because it actually messes up a strat in the middle of the game. But because I'm doing the death abuse strat, it's up to me.
We'll get to that later in Stage 4. Strat in particular. So, as far as in-game tech in general, for those that haven't seen this game, the primary method of movement you're going to be seeing is what's called cape mashing. On a given jump, Aladdin has this sheet that he can use for, it's essentially like just a delayed fall. Lets him float, similar to the cape in Super Mario World. But in this game, what you can do is you can actually do what's called cape mashing by default tapping the R button to continually mash the cape to activate, release, and over and over and over again. Doing this for each activate and release saves an additional frame, so it's pure time save, and there's no reason not to do it.
Except for your hand health. It was explained to me that every time you put away the cape, I believe, it pushes you forward 1 pixel. So, I don't know if that's right. I don't care. I was taught by the greats to mash my cape, and I will stand by that to the death.
Great Cape Crusader he is. On to our first boss, and actually one of the only bosses in the game. Pretty simple stuff. Clip him with the apple, he gets hit stunned, and then he tries to hit you. Once his sword is raised backwards, you can then jump on him. Don't know if that damage boost is intentional or not.
Nope, not at all. Did not want to see that happen, especially considering in this game, you do not refill health between levels. So
yeah, health always carries over, but...
And Abu wins by doing absolutely nothing but cheering Aladdin on.
Cool, Aladdin's going to go see what's under the hood. Be good.
Our main method for recovering health in this game is actually the gems that we collect. It may not be immediately obvious, but we're pretty careful about exactly when and how many gems we get in this game. And part of that is because every time you get to 100 gems, you get a full health refill as well as an additional heart container. In order to do the optimal strats on the final boss, you really need to have, I guess it's your 6th heart.
6th or 7, yeah, it's a pretty solid amount of health.
Now, you did see Oz go out of his way to grab health there. The reason for that being you don't replenish health between stages. It's probably one of the more difficult elements of this game.
So for this is always a weird one to me. To get an optimal cutscene here, you actually have to wait for Abu to catch up to you over Magic Carpet. Saves time over just straight up running because Abu is going to take more time to catch up with you if you just trigger the cutscene too early. So allowing him to get there first is optimal.
Yeah, as soon as you touch that cutscene trigger, Abu just walks to you, and that's way slower than him usually running to you. So you just wait for him to show up, and then you run to the...
On to what I think is probably the first gatekeeper of the run. 2-2 is... It's a really, really cool stage. There's a lot of neat tech to it, but a lot of the high-level strats are extremely dangerous here.
I've never mashed fast enough to get the optimal strat on this stage. You have to mash with some unbelievable skill and speed in order to actually get under that very last wall.
Unfortunately, Drex had to take a death there.
And of course, we learn that children's vocabulary is apparently really good as the word infidel shows up here. Like a 5-year-old's going to understand what that means.
It was in the movie.
Really?
They know the movie. That's all that's important.
And now the level that Drex was apparently practicing really hard for coming up soon here on our side of the screen. I laugh, but it is very difficult in spots, especially in a marathon. You have to collect all the gems because we're going to need that extra heart container later on in the run. So
another thing to refer for optimal movement, moving uphill in this game, if you're walking, is not ideal. You actually want to continually jump up hills because Aladdin runs really, really slow up inclines. Down inclines, he has great movement, but up inclines, you're going to see a lot of like just continual short hops to get up.
So we have certain numbers that we're looking for in general. Our gym routes may not be exactly the same. I'm usually aiming to have my somewhere between 105th and 110th gym by the end of this level. I like to go a little excessive and get more because it means it's a little easier once we get to the bonus stage right before the end. But that will guarantee not only a full health refill, but our 4th heart container by the end of this level.
At least it's easy to do here. I mean, you got nothing but time to go get all these gems, and the stage is just littered with them.
So this is actually where I do the death abuse right here. The death here actually sets up the random number generator. The problem is at the beginning of this game, Abu running around constantly pulls the random number generator and makes it completely impossible to manipulate. But from this point on, there's not really a lot of elements of randomness. And so if I set it up the way I want it to be at this point right here, the benefit that I get is that now, from here on, I'm already set up for the optimal Jafar fight at the end of the game.
Pretty cool. Actually, was not aware of that until just now, so thank you, authorblues.
No problem. The only thing I have to do in order to accomplish the perfect Jafar fight from here is I have to make sure that there's one Iago enemy in the very last world that I have to kill as early as possible. If I do that, then we're golden.
now time for everybody's favorite stage that they remember from this game.
This stage is easy though. He says right as he crashes into them.
Oh, don't say that. If you stay right below the sheet symbol on the screen, you should be able to make this no problem. So everybody can learn something from this one.
There's only one boulder in this room that was always a gatekeeper for me. It's right before the last, like, swoons. Like, there's one boulder that just comes down from the right that just decides to be a real jerk. Like, that guy's clearly there to ruin your day. Let's see what we get here, though. Oh, right, you know, the cave, so I'll in the clear. Down, up, and down. And we're in there. Nice job.
Still pretty close race here.
So there's a portion in the middle of this next level where Genie sort of makes a bridge for you out of items, and how that bridge is actually built depends on how many lives you have. That's the reason why in a lot of runs you'll notice that they try not to collect the extra life in the first level, because it actually messes up the strategy for this stage. But since I did the death abuse, the extra life wasn't a big deal. I'm still in the proper range for getting a good bridge here. If you have too few lives, he makes a bridge really easy, but it's kind of slow. And if you have too many lives, he makes the bridge really hard and still kind of slow. So,
what we're getting here is optimal. As long as you can just glide from the cloud to the finger, you're good. Very nice finish there.
Pretty good. 4-1 from Author.
Into 4-2, balloons with hooks. Not sure how that concept was invented, but here we are. This is probably the most straightforward level of the inside the lamp. There's a lot of enemy clipping, as you can see. Make great use of apples. You have a lot of items that you utilize for jump boosts, but you're generally not going to see a lot of them. Tornadoes will act as random hitboxes, but pretty simple to avoid them.
I feel like I'm making a lot of noises. I'm sorry.
There we go. Nice job.
I only make noises when it's not going well.
Probably one of the most technical stages here of Inside the Lamp. This is actually cycle-based here.
4-3 is weird. It's definitely, I think, the most practice-intensive stage, or section of stage 4. Very nice climb there for the first section. The rest of this is pretty standard. Take all the springs, get your ledge clips.
That's not what I wanted to do.
Nice climb there by off.
Now for the second section, here we have the falling blocks. You can see a bit of cape mashing here.
That's lucky. That's 50-50. That's also 50-50.
Some of my favorite bits here are actually what you'll see when you utilize the fall of the blocks to be able to get where you need to go. Casually, you'll generally take that one there, but there's no reason to. You can just sail down and cape away. That'll clear out stage 4.
So we've departed a little bit from the movie Inside the Lamp, but then the story really takes a left turn here because we all remember the time that Aladdin went inside the pyramid.
Okay, but he did go inside the pyramid. It was the jail where he met Okay, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Aladdin lore, but I'm having a real issue right now.
So about this stage, jumping here is quite tight. One thing you don't get to take much advantage of is ledge clipping. Anything with sand pouring over the side, if you just collide into the side of it as opposed to just grabbing the ledge, you're just dead. Like, it's actually just going to kill you. So making sure that you land on each individual given platform is huge. Nice.
Oh,
apples.
wow. Nice job.
Oh, I'm not supposed to. Okay, that's weird. That's weird.
Being a little quieter in that one. I know if I was racing this game, I'd always want quieter in 5-2. That snakehead section is something.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of damage boosting in this level for off.
Making sure you turn slightly left before you get hit, boost you to the right, so you get to save a few frames that way. Nice job.
Nice.
That's the first time you see that enemy. You'll see him quite a bit more in stage 6. He can block apples, and he also can throw his swords in a boomerang type fashion that you can bounce off of. In some cases, you use those as a way to get past the enemies. I still don't understand how exactly that works, but I guess it's supposed to be a boss per se. It's a boo and a pharaoh's head, but
It's supposed to be very spooky, but as soon as you jump on him once, then you realize it's just a boo.
ooh. Oh man, no gems. Speaking of all the gems,
So this one is the bonus game, and it should be just sort of a nice, relaxing bonus game, but unfortunately, I kind of need all of them.
100% run, let's go. Essentially, what you're doing here is you're sliding through, collecting all the gems that you can. The red gems are certainly the most important. You get 3 individualized gems per red as opposed to the one you get for green. And as Oth mentioned before, every 100 gems not only refills your health, but it raises your max health by 1. Should be good for the 5th health here, no problem.
I need to end this level with 70, though. I'm like, that's how far away we still are.
That's a long enough song.
True that. Never liked the physics of carpet here. It's like, you kind of have to sway a lot. It's weird. Drex making work of stage 5 there, finishing off the boss.
Gonna be close off. Looking good though.
I might have to just hunt down a few extras. I'm close enough. Oh,
Hey,
Yo,
Right at
nice.
70.
Zaxxy's, nice job, nice job.
That was planned.
yeah, this is actually a situation where you don't want to go past it, though. Right at 70 is the sweet spot because it allows you to get that last heart and that last refill exactly when you are entering the very last boss fight. So it makes a pretty pronounced difference if you can exit that level with exactly 70. Otherwise, you have to either hunt down a few extra gems or just accept that you're not going to go into the final boss fight with enough health.
For stage 6, certainly I would say the hardest stage in the run. Seems like no matter where you navigate, there's just hitboxes that are just waiting to do all kinds of damage to you and work. And nice clip there. First room being certainly the most forgiving, I guess you could say. It's like a solid introduction to the stage. Whereas 6-2, now we get to deal with lanterns.
And this is the Iago I have to hit.
Nice. So that should
If I hit him early enough, he doesn't get an opportunity to pull the random number generator, and so he doesn't mess things up. I think I might have gotten him early enough. We'll find out in just a moment.
These lanterns that are showing above the stage.
I'm just angry at lanterns.
Any, yeah, just take them out. Show them your orchard. If you accidentally fall into one of them, it actually turns into like a swivel platform, and you don't want that because it reduces it increases the amount of time before you're going to hit the ground. I'm going to make sure you get that out of the way. On the last standard stage, lots of solid apple clips there. It's actually a pretty standard room as long as you're moving quickly through it. The fire is going to be utilized for a damage boost here and there. Upside being that Auth is almost at that sweet 100 that he needs.
Yeah, I'm at the perfect number right here. Oh.
Yeah, he'll get it right here.
Nice job.
All right, let's see if that minute
On to our
worked.
first of 2 final bosses.
So if it worked, he's going to give me the fast strat right here, which he did.
Perfect
nice
Jafar
boss
fight. Really nice off.
That was some excellent manipulation. If you just play the game as you're going to without that death abuse that Auth utilized, Jafar has 2 patterns that he can give you. The other one being where he throws a staff at the ground to shoot lightning at you, and that's very suboptimal because it's just caused the fight to go on much longer, and you can't get the fast strat that you get with the birds. So for him to get that pattern right away and be able to finish him off with that quick kill was huge.
Time for me is coming up on exactly the 8th hit of the snake, so.
Snake. Pretty simple standard boss fight here, just lots of damage boosting.
All right, I lost 1 possible hit. That's it.
Hey, wow.
It's like a 1656.
That's
Fantastic
pretty
marathon
good.
run.
That's 3 seconds off of my PB.
Very nice job from Auth. Drex is going to continue to make his way through 6-3 with
No help.
out to the
Yeah, but he's going to pick up the chicken right here.
There you go.
I messed up my gems real bad.
Fortunately, that chicken right there is going to mean that he's going to have enough health here, and he can pick up a refill right before the final boss. So
it's cool. He's going to get the best pattern, or not.
Uh,
So this is the example of the other thing that can happen.
So you have to wait for him to throw the staff, then he does lightning, then he'll finally do the thing that you want him to do, pretty much.
From here, it's going to be the same what you saw from Auth.
nice recovery there by Drex. Good
Very
job.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, Snake goes for Drex here.
Probably not very good.
So the big issue here is that his patterns are actually also completely random, and the RNG manipulation that I was fortunate enough to get does control that a little bit. This fight used to be a lot more difficult before that RNG manipulation existed, and in fact, because that death abuse that you do in the lava stage costs, I think, 3.5 seconds, it's not done in world record caliber runs, and so you just sort of have to be able to respond to whatever you get here.
Nice double
Yo,
jump there.
nice.
That was a good secondary boost. I'm coming up Drex. One more hit, I believe. And time.
Hey.
1960.
So that's Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. For those of you who are big fans of the Genesis game, a little more platforming, a little less combat. This is Apple's Aladdin, not Sword Aladdin. Which honestly, you gotta take your pick, I guess. But
Apple pick. Pick your apples.
no.
Just thought I'd ask.
Anyway, thanks to Calithon for letting us show off this super fun game. A lot of these strats have been worked on for so long that the history of this speedrun is really crazy. And you know, these days it's been pushed to its absolute limits by people like La Hulk and Joe D'Amelio. And this is a really great game to get into. So I guess, again, I'm going to proselytize and say if you want to get into speedrunning, this one's a good one to try.
Yeah, the run is really, really forgiving to learn too, because there's so many different ways that you can approach each level. And you can kind of ease yourself into learning all the strats. So it's a good game to learn if you are new to speedrunning.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for having us, Calithon. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Author Blues and Drex, one more time.